Today, the Justice Department is opening a civil investigation into the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government and the Louisville Metro Police Department to determine whether LMPD engages in a pattern or practice of violations of the Constitution or federal law. Today's announcement is based on an extensive review of publicly available information about LMPD conducted by the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. The investigation will assess whether LMPD engages in a pattern or practice of using unreasonable force, including with respect to people involved in peaceful, expressive activities. It will determine whether LMPD engages in unconstitutional stops, searches, and seizures, as well as whether the department unlawfully executes search warrants on private homes. It will also assess whether LMPD engages in discriminatory conduct on the basis of race or fails to provide public services that comply with the Americans with Disability Act. The investigation will include a comprehensive review of the Louisville Police Department's policies and training. It will also assess the effectiveness of LMPD's supervision of officers and systems of accountability.
Okay, so that was a lot of legalisms for something that Merrick Garland started last April of 2021. A look into the Louisville Police Department to see whether or not they use excessive force and whether or not they violate people's civil rights. And as of today, we know that the 4 Louisville police officers, especially the former Louisville Metro Police Department detective, who lied on the search warrant application that led to the no-knock warrant that led to the raid on Breonna Taylor's apartment, where she ended up being shot to death in her own bed. The person who lied on the application to get that no-knock warrant has been arrested and has been charged by the FBI. Quote, the federal charges announced today allege that the members of the Police Investigations Unit, falsified the affidavit to obtain the search warrant of Miss Taylor's home, and that this act violated federal civil rights laws, and that those violations resulted in Miss Taylor's death. So in the application, what we had here was a Louisville Metro Police Department police officer in charge of investigations, falsifying the fact that he had verified that Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, swear to God, was getting mail at Breonna Taylor's apartment. And he never, ever did do that. He never verified, because if he tried to, well, we now know he didn't. But if he would have, what he would have found out was that Breonna Taylor and this man, Jamarcus Glover, had broken up 2 years earlier. And they did not remain friends. And that she had totally moved on with her life. Worked in an ER. She was an ER technician, okay, in the emergency room. And that the person that they were executing a no-knock warrant on was already in custody. And so they broke into her apartment, and the guy she was dating at the time, which isn't the guy she broke up with 2 years ago, obviously, who was in custody, by the way. But the guy that she was dating at the time thought they were being robbed because they just broke through the door. They didn't even announce that they were police officers. They just did a no-knock warrant, right? And so he thought they were being robbed, and he grabbed his legally owned firearm, which all of you people tell me you must have to protect home and hearth. You must have it. Well, he had it. And when he used it to try and protect his home and hearth because he thought they were being robbed, they shot him. And then they shot her 8 times while she was sleeping in her bed. So He was fired last year, this guy, this police officer, but he was arrested this morning and charged with federal civil rights violations. Finally, this is how long it takes, okay? This is how long this takes. It takes forever. I mean, I still have the Vanity Fair magazine. I still get the magazine. Yes, I read it online too, but I get the magazine delivered to my home because I love that freaking thing. Where Breonna Taylor was on the cover of it. It was a drawing of her. It was, an artist's rendition of her. I still have it because I just could not believe that in this country, a girl could be sound asleep in her bed, in between shifts at the emergency room and just be shot to death by police who didn't know that the person they were looking for was already in their custody. Now come to find out that they lied on the warrant saying he gets mail at her house. So we can actually, that is just bizarre. That is, and so finally, maybe there's a chance in this world, not that it will do anything to bring her back. She was only 26 years old, this kid. She was a young woman just starting out. Just making her way, doing everything right. So that happened today, thank God. And you know what's really crazy about it is when they got caught, with a faked warrant, when they got caught lying on the warrant, then they engaged in a cover-up. And it's always that actually flags the FBI. It's always the cover-up. And that's exactly what happened with Alex Jones. It's exactly what happened with these 4 cops. It's exactly what happened with Donald Trump. It's exactly what happens with all of these miscreants, with all of these people that try to get away with breaking the law.